What's up, guys? Holianis with you here, bringing you Sword Art Online Season 3, Episode 9 anime review. This episode was really good. We have Yu-Gi-Oh! Training, in the sword school, and it's weird because he's not used to holding a sword. He's used to, an axe. So in his training, we see him using his sword like an axe. He just keeps chopping down on the wooden block, like it's an axe when it's a sword. So it's unique to see that type of style, because he's mixing that with the arcade style that he learned from Kirito. So it's like he's mixing this up with that, and it's very unique, but in a weird way. And we have those two noblemen, Hamsburg and I believe Zeke. We have them making fun of him and stuff like that because, they nobles and he's not. And anyone that's not a noble, they just look down upon, which we see people like this a lot in different type of animes and even in real life. So it was a given there was going to be jerks after what they did at Kirito and his flower garden. But they pick on him, and one of them mentioned in the comments, well, if you don't mind, I can train you myself, and if you ever feel the need to have a proper tutor, making fun of his style or saying that. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Was going to say something, I guess, smart or disrespectful, but he caught himself, and what he did was very smart, and instead he actually humbled himself, and he was like, okay, if you're serious, then let's have a round, and we'll stop short. Basically the same thing that Kirito had to do with that one guy when they had real swords, and they were clashing. Similar to that, but instead they were using wooden swords, and instead of actually hitting your opponent, you were supposed to actually stop where you was going to hit them. So it was really pretty good, and I'm surprised because Yu-Gi-Oh! Was actually doing pretty good against this one nobleman that he was fighting. I believe this one was Zach or Zaki, and the other one was Hammerberg or something like that. I'm probably butchering their names, so forgive me. I'm bad with names. I should have wrote it down, but basically he's fighting Ziggy, the one that has the yellow suit and the black hair, and then the other one has a red suit and long blonde hair. He's fighting the one with the short hair, and he's doing pretty good. And in the end, the guy with the blonde hair, he stopped it, and he considered it a draw. And Ziggy didn't like that at all, that he draw with a noble, or that a noble draw with him. He was really upset about that, but I guess Hamburg is, I guess, a higher ranked noble, and he told him to just cut it off and stop it, so he stopped the conversation, and they walk away, and then he's listening to Yu-Gi-Oh! Hamburg, the guy with the blonde hair. He was like, maybe in the future, if you really want some real good sword skill techniques, I can teach you some. And his reply was, well, why wait until the future? Let's do it now. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something similar to that. And the dude got really, really upset. And we saw his face change and his voice tone. And he looked at him and was like, don't get cocky, you noble. Ugh, and walked away. And I was like, go Yu-Gi-Oh! But then the next day came, and it was a day of rest. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Was out there with Kirito, and they, practicing. I'm not practicing, but they out there in the picnic with their two page. And their page confront something to them, that a friend of theirs is getting tormented by her disciple, her elite disciple. He's making her do inappropriate things, like change in front of him and stuff like that, of that nature. Inappropriate things, basically. We don't find out what until later on, but that's basically what is going on and implied. And Kirito and, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was like, okay, fine, we'll take care of this. We'll have to talk to this master. What's his name? And hold and behold, it was Ziki and Hamburg again. And yeah, basically Yu-Gi-Oh! Was like, oh, I guess this is retaliation because I tied with him in a duel a couple of days ago. So now he's taking out the revenge on her. So he was like, don't worry, we're going to make sure to set things straight. They went to the room to talk it out. And this is when we found out the things that he's making her do. He's making her massage him at night where he's bathing, so she's forced to sit there and look at him, which she most likely she doesn't want to do that. Then on top of that, he's getting her wet from like splashing water on her because she's bathing, she's basically massaging him in water, so she's getting wet. And, in school uniforms, when they get wet, you can technically see through them. So then on top of that, he's making her also change clothes in front of him. So it's like all these different like retaliation strikes are building up against him, but she can't really complain because he's noble. And another page or noble will have to complain about it. Another disciple, elite student, or noble will have to complain about this page treatment situation, the way he's treating his page. So Yu-Gi-Oh, getting really angry finding this out what this guy is doing, and he goes like this he goes down to get his sword. Problem is, neither of them have their sword. These two guys are in like bathing suits, like not bathing suits, but like towel cloths, and they just came out of the tower or something, wearing their robes. And Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh is in the school uniform, and this is the same day of rest, just later on, because they had the picnic in the evening, from the morning to evening. Then after that, they came over here to talk them out. And Yu-Gi-Oh had no sword, and he blew up. He got real angry, which is weird because usually Kirito is the one who blows up, and Yu-Gi-Oh should have calmed him. But we've seen in this scene that it was the opposite. Kirito was actually keeping his cool, and he was just, calmly looking around, while Yu-Gi-Oh was the one who wanted to sword strike him, but he couldn't because he had no sword on him. So he just left him off with a threat saying, if you continue to do this, I am going to, make sure I tell the higher-ups to, comfort you, and do some information and stuff. And then after that, we get this last scene where the girl with the red hair who asked him for help was like, thank you, and long story short, she basically liked Yu-Gi-Oh, and she wants him to compete in the sword tournament like their teacher did and win, and then asked her to marry him. Asked him to marry her, and that's how she feels. Is Yu-Gi-Oh gonna do it? I doubt it. We know he likes Alice, and his main goal is to save Alice. So he may have to let her down slowly in the future, but... And it was also stated by Kirito that probably someone else is setting this up to make Yu-Gi-Oh look bad. So there might be a mastermind between these two boys that are trying to pick a fight with these guys. Who knows? It could be another nobleman that's higher. It could be a knight from where they took Alice. Maybe they know about the existence of these two boys. We don't know, but things have been looking pretty bad for things looked pretty good for Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh. But after this incident with these two guys, it's like, in the flower incident, it's like these guys are building up a lot of hate. And when Kirito does snap on them, I have a feeling no one's going to really hold him back. And we may see the old Kirito again, which I have no problem with that, I'm just saying. But this was a good episode. Can't wait to see, how Yu-Gi-Oh and Kirito handle the situation. Even if this episode was more about Yu-Gi-Oh and him gathering his feelings and learning how he wants to use his sword and what type of emotion and weight he wants to put into it. Could be also in the beginning of this episode that idealism and emotion is what makes your sword style ever more powerful and useful. And he used the 3 top O students that graduated as an example. So, but that's all I have for you guys today. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for more, or YouTube won't give you any notifications. And make sure you do that with all your other YouTubers that you follow. Share with your family and friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.